Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So what I have for you guys today is going to be my Championship Week 13 score predictions. And guys, thank God this international break has finally come to an end. And I don't know what you guys think, but for me, that international break seriously dragged. I mean, we had two England games which both finished 0-0. So thank God this weekend, guys, we do have some Championship action back. And honestly, I just want to see some goals now. So as always, guys, I'm very interested to hear what your predictions are in the comments down below. So if you've not seen this series before, let me quickly explain how it all goes down. So every week I give you guys my Championship score predictions for what I think the results will be with each game going on in the Championship. FIFA 18 also makes their score predictions, and then you guys can also make your predictions, as all the games will be listed in the description down below. And then if any of you guys do successfully manage to get any of your score predictions correct, I will include your comment at the start of the next video, guys. So like I said, thank God we got some Championship action back, guys. We've actually got two games going on tonight as well, so let's just jump into the fixtures. So our first game that we have to talk over is the first game going on tonight, guys, between Burton, Albion and Sheffield United. So of course, two teams currently battling at different ends of the table, but both, to be in fairness to them, are coming off the back of a victory just before the international break. The victory Burton got last time out against Millwall was a little bit of a smash and grab in that game, but nevertheless a huge 3 points to keep them out of the bottom three for the time being. Sheffield United must just be absolutely riding on their confidence at the moment after that mad result they got against Hull City, where Leon Clark scored all 4 goals. We could see a similar situation occur in this game here today. I get the impression that Burton will want to be quite a resilient side coming up against the Sheffield United team, you know, at a high flyer in the league at the moment, second in the table. In my opinion, do Burton have enough to do it? If they can really nullify Sheffield United's attack, they may have a chance, but over the course of the game, I feel like Sheffield United will have too much. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 away victory for Sheffield United, whereas FIFA's saying it'll be a 1-1. And our next game to talk over is the other game going on tonight, guys. That is between my club, Preston North End, and Bolton Wanderers. So a game I'm quite looking forward to, although I am a little bit apprehensive going into this one as well. I think I have to say, Preston at the moment, probably on one of the worst runs in the Championship, to be very honest. We've lost our last 4 games and really haven't been looking brilliant, as a lot of our defensive options have been out with injuries. So that's really not helped our cause this season. Coming up against this Bolton team as well, who in recent weeks really have been showing signs of improving. I think they're unbeaten now in their last 5 or 6 games, so they really are going in the right direction at the moment, and I'm not going to be taking this game easily. Added to that as well, Preston also have Jordan Hugo suspended for this match. Shawnee Maguire's injured as well, so our attacking options aren't looking brilliant going into this one either, and we still have a depleted back line. So for this game here today, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Maybe that's slightly optimistic because Bolton are in the better form, but Preston need to be showing a response sooner rather than later. So I'll go 1-1, FIFA saying a 0-0. And our next game we then have Birmingham, who are coming up against Nottingham Forest. So quite an intriguing encounter this one, actually, to go ahead and look over. Birmingham, I mean, they really did need to sort out quite a few issues over this international break. So this game will be very telling in my opinion. I think they've lost 3 of their last 4 games and are currently in the bottom 3 of the Championship. Coming up against this Nottingham Forest side, who this season have been very hit and miss. There's been no in-between with Forest this season. They're still yet to draw a game, as they've won 8 and lost 8. And going forward, I think Forest will cause this Birmingham defence especially all sorts of problems. And so for that reason, I'm going to go for a 3-1 away victory for Nottingham Forest. On their day, Forest can be unstoppable going forward. Birmingham, I still think they really do need to sort out their defence. They may have done that over the break, but nevertheless, I'll say 3-1 Forest. FIFA saying 1-0 Forest. And our next game is the game taking place between Cardiff and Brentford. So first of all, we have to give a shout out to Brentford. The current form they're in is just absolutely mad. Considering the start that Brentford got to the season, they have been climbing the table now week by week, and really are looking to be playoff contenders once again, like I know quite a few people were predicting them to be at the start of the season, and it really has been their attacking prowess which has really impressed me with Brentford over the last few weeks especially. But they come up against this Cardiff side who at home this season especially have been a very strong side. I mean, they're sat third in the Championship, so this won't be an easy game for Brentford by any stretch of the imagination. And with how resilient Cardiff have been defensively and how good Brentford have been going forward, this could be a really good game to actually go ahead and watch. But in terms of a score prediction, I do think that quite a few goals could be scored in this one here today, so I'll go for a 2-2 draw for this one. FIFA's going to go with a 1-0 Cardiff. And our next game to go to is between Hull City and Ipswich Town. So of course, before the international break, both of these two sides did have quite contrasting weeks. I think that's fair to say. Hull got absolutely taken apart by Sheffield United, whereas Ipswich absolutely battered my team, Preston North End. But in terms of this one here today, I get the impression that maybe that could be flipped on its head. So far this season, Ipswich, in recent weeks especially, have been quite an inconsistent team. I mean, they'll win a match, then lose a match, then win a match, then lose the match. That seems to be their general pattern of form at the moment. Coming up against this Hull side who really aren't on a great run at the moment. Some of their performances, defensively especially, I'm really not sure about Hull this season. Going forward, I still think they've got options there, although they do have still quite a few injuries. But nevertheless, I still believe they can score goals, but defensively, they really do need to sort out some of their issues. But nevertheless, for this one, I've got a gut feeling that Hull may do it in this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 home victory for Hull in this one. FIFA's going to say a 1-0 Hull. Then our next game does see Norwich come up against Barnsley. So really, the international break did come at the wrong time for Barnsley, as they really were starting to build quite a bit of momentum with 2 back-to-back wins before the break. Coming up against this Norwich side who, probably a contrast to that actually, really do seem to have lost quite a bit of momentum in recent weeks, with I think 3 defeats on the bounce. So they'll be looking to turn this one around as soon as possible, and this home game is a good opportunity to do that. In my opinion, Norwich are probably going to want to go back to what was making them so successful earlier on in the season. That was grinding out some low-scoring games, so I get the impression this could be a game where not too many goals are scored. I think they'll look to shore up their defence and then look to nick a goal with Jerome or Oliveira. So for this one here today, I am going to go for a slim 1-0 home victory for Norwich. FIFA's also going to agree with me, although I'm not sure about that one because Barnsley have looked decent recently. Then our next game to go ahead and talk over is QPR coming up against Aston Villa. Now, I know Aston Villa coming into this one probably will be the favourites, and rightly so. You know, they've been a good side this season. However, I'm going to make a little bit of a case for QPR in this one. In their last 2 home games, we've seen them take down 2 big sides in the Championship this season, in both Wolves and Sheffield United, when realistically they probably weren't being tipped to do that. As well as that, their home record this season has been brilliant for QPR. So added to that equation as well is that John Terry is going to be out with an injury for this game for Aston Villa, so that'll be an interesting one to see how they shuffle around their back line. But for this one here today, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw for this one. Villa probably will be the favourites, and rightly so. They're currently sat 6th in the Championship, but last time out against Sheffield Wednesday, they weren't great, and QPR at home this season, I've been impressed by. And our next game sees Reading go up against Wolves, and a tough game to predict this one after the international break, in my opinion, of course. Quite a few people at the start of the season really were writing Reading off after an awful start they got to the season, and don't get me wrong, it's still not been a good start for Reading by any stretch of the imagination, but before the international break they did get 2 consecutive victories and have looked to slowly steer themselves away from that bottom 3. Coming up against this Wolves side who, I mean, on their day they're capable of taking down anyone in this league. I don't think I need to say that anymore, of course. Currently sat top of the Championship. This is a game I'm looking forward to seeing how they actually combat, and realistically I can only see Wolves really pushing at Reading and Reading looking to get one on the break maybe. But for this one here today, despite Reading's decent recent form, I'm still going to back a 2-0 away victory for Wolves. I feel like going forward they'll have too much. FIFA's going to say it'll be a 0-0. And as we do go into our next game, we then have Sheffield Wednesday who are coming up against Bristol City. So in terms of a spectacle of what this game could be, this does have the potential to be a very good game of football. On their day, both of these two sides can play some exceptional stuff, and I mean, Sheffield Wednesday in their last outing against Aston Villa, they were playing some great passing moves in that game. I was really quite impressed by them in that game, and that's something that Wednesday fans will want to see more of this season. Coming up against this Bristol City side, who have just been phenomenal so far this season, really have been probably a dark horse for promotion maybe for the rest of the season, and this is a game which it could be a tough one to call in my opinion. Before the break, Sheffield Wednesday and Bristol City both seem to be in a decent run of form, so to call it is going to be a tight one. However, Bristol City this season have just been defying all expectations, and I still think that there's a couple of cracks within that Wednesday side which they do need to plug. So for this one, I will go with a 2-1 away victory for Bristol City, whereas FIFA's saying it'll be a 1-0 Bristol City win. Then as we do go into our next game, we then have Sunderland, who are coming up against Millwall. So when I'm recording this video, Sunderland still are yet to find a manager. So really, the sooner they do that, the better really, to really get them out of this bad situation which they currently find themselves in. However, in their last game against Middlesbrough, I did think they got a little bit unlucky in that, to be honest, and they did show a couple of positive signs. So this game against Millwall now is huge for Sunderland and their season as a whole. Millwall this season haven't had the best away record. It really has been their home form which has done them so well this season. So this is a massive opportunity for Sunderland, but with them just having such a dire record at home this season, I would be surprised if this did end as a victory. So for this prediction, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, whereas FIFA's saying it'll be a 0-0. And then our second to last game to go ahead and talk over is between Fulham and Derby County. So Fulham, compared to their form last season, really do seem to have hit a slump and really are on a bit of a gradual decline at the moment, and they'll want to be turning that form around as soon as possible. Coming up against this Derby side, who have been a really funny team to predict this season. Before their last game against Reading, they were under an exceptional run of form, and then they had that game against Reading where they got absolutely dismantled and just looked so disorientated at the back. So if they do the same in that one, Fulham have the players going forward who will be able to expose those sort of plays. But for this one, I do get the impression that this one is heading towards quite a few goals being scored and a draw as well. I think Fulham have got the most draws in the Championship alongside Sunderland this season. So for this one, I'm going to go with a 2-2. FIFA's going to say a 0-0. And our last game to talk over is the game taking place on Sunday between Leeds United and Middlesbrough. And I'm not going to lie, this is a game I'm looking forward to going ahead and watching, as Leeds at the moment really do need to turn their form around as soon as possible. Their manager is still coming under increasing pressure thanks to some of the performances recently. And I mean, it's going to be a good atmosphere at Ellen Road. I think that's fair to say. One reason for that, of course, will be the return of Gary Monk going to Ellen Road with his Middlesbrough side. Leeds fans, what do you think the reception will be for Gary Monk? Let me know down below. I'm interested to hear what you guys think this one will finish as. But in terms of a scoreline, I'm going to go for this one for a 1-1 draw. I can see these two sides cancelling each other out. Middlesbrough have been under a very good run of form recently, although in their last game against Sunderland, I thought they did possibly ride their luck a few times in that game. But nevertheless, for this one, I'm going to say 1-1, and FIFA's going to agree with me. So there you guys have it. That will wrap it up for my Championship Week 13 score predictions. So do you guys agree with my score predictions? Let me know down below. But apart from that, guys, that will now wrap it up for this video. So if you have enjoyed, make sure you do leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure you check out all of the links in the description down below, and make sure you subscribe for regular Championship content. But apart from that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.